Look at this gorgeous trailer, y'all. Look at it. It's a 2-bedroom. That's my daughter, Angie.
Hi.
And my granddaughter, Michaela. She's not even gonna say hi. She's just gonna disappear. Isn't that a beautiful trailer? Angie's making us dinner. And
that's kind of scary because Angie doesn't cook.
Right? I'm gonna help her, I guess. Okay, here's the bathroom. Now it's small but gorgeous. Look at that. You know, these RV bathrooms. Boy, your heater works good. Whew. And this is her bedroom. Well, you can't see much of it, but it's cool. But let me show you the rest. Okay. Look at this garagey thing they have. And they can put their dog in here, which is really nice. I wish I had that. And then there's a back patio. Look at the patio. Oh, right? We just got here, so there's no furniture out there yet. But this is a toy hauler, so up there is a bed that lowers down. So that's kind of cool, huh? And look at this, a half bath. A little half bath. They have a teenage son. So this is gonna be his room, and that's his bathroom. Okay, so that's Angie's trailer, and now I'll show you mine. And here is ours. TV, fireplace. Look, the dog right by the fireplace. I'm sitting in my recliner. Nice sofa over there. Here's the kitchen with a nice little island, nice big refrigerator, and a hutch. And what do we see here? Wait, let's look at this. Let's blow this up. Look, a wine caddy, of course, for vintage and vino. And this is the table and chairs. And up there, up, it doesn't even show the stairs. There's our bedroom up there. Very, very, very comfortable RV with plenty. It's mostly kitchen, and I kind of like that. But it has a lot of living room space too. So we like that too, don't we, Tim?
Yep.
Yep.
We do.
So here we are. Tomorrow night, we are going to Jerome for a ghost tour because Jerome, Arizona is supposed to be full of ghosts. I know, right? So I'll see if I can take some video.
Yep.
Shut up. If I can take some video of the ghost tour, I will take it for you guys.
Maybe we'll see a real ghost.
Maybe. How's that for a sunset? Woo! Nice. On our way to Jerome. It's very windy. Very, very windy. Jerome, Arizona. Never
Lots
been.
of switchbacks.
You've never been. You need to go. All right. There's one of the first houses built on the side of the hill. Because these things are they just drop right off. The whole town's built like this. The back end of them, oh, I don't think you can see that well. Just, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'd be so scared to live there. But they've been here a long time. That's the way Jerome is built. The whole city is just built on the side of the hill, and everybody's house just drops off the edge.
Front corner is attached to the mountain, and the back half is all on stilts.
Right. It's a block wall here, right in our little window to hold the mountain up, I guess. Big ghost town. It's supposed to be a big ghost town, but we'll see.
It used to be a mining town.
We'll learn about it. Yeah, it used to be a mining town, and then it was a ghost town, and now they've livened it up again. Oh, this one. Oh, man. Oh, that was like...
And a bridge to the front door.
A bridge to the front door. Oh, my gosh. No.
The Ghost City Inn, right in front of us.
Oh, the Ghost City Inn. Ooh. Yeah. Look at this. Oh, sun much fun. Such neat places. Here's some of the little shops. There's a gallery. Oh my gosh. Neat little place. House of Joy. Probably lots of little, there's a winery because you don't have enough of those.
Yeah.
That one says winery right there. Look at that old building. Oh, that's so cool. Liberty Theater and the Connor Hotel. The Connor Hotel looks a little, I don't know, a little scary.
I've been doing paranormal research since 1997, and I'm still perfectly fine. Fine? I mean, I got a couple ticks, but we're going to deal with that, right? By show of hands, how many people here have taken a ghost tour before? All you virgins? Yeah, you're mine. Listen, the average company around the world is going to take you out, tell you stories of the past, and maybe take a few photos. We're going to be doing that, okay? But what's really neat about our company is I'm going to be taking you guys to actual murder locations around town. We'll be talking to you guys about the death and debauchery in this town, but we're also going to be taking out some real paranormal investigators because I got a baby. Aww. Now, you know what causes that, right? Ever since me and my wife started washing our underwear in separate loads, we haven't had another one. Okay? But listen, guys. We're going to be taking out some equipment. I'm going to be taking out 4 of these, okay? You guys ever seen like a Ghost Adventure series or anything like that? You may have seen these. I know it looks like something made from Mattel, but it's actually a sophisticated piece of equipment. This is called a Ghost Pro 3 meter. The way you turn it on is this little orange button right here. You're going to notice that when I depress it, there's going to be 2 little orange lights. See the little orange lights? Manufacturer states that when these turn solid orange, this device and this device alone is picking up an electromagnetic anomaly. We know as paranormal investigators that the veil between this dimension and the next is the electromagnetic field of the earth, guys. And I'll get a little further in detail about that while on tour, okay? Now, when I hand this, I'm not like the other ghost company where they hand this to you and then you walk around town, oh my God, it's right here! No. You're gonna notice that when we turn these on, there's gonna be no electricity around us. So when we get a hit, it's legit. I was a poet and didn't even know it. Okay? But this device that we're gonna be getting all the action out of here. Anybody here know what EVP stands for?
Electronic voice phenomenon.
You're hired now.
We watch a lot of shows.
Okay, there you go. We're going to be conducting electronic voice phenomena. This is the Cadillac of doing EVP, guys. This is called a PSP-11 Spirit Box. This is going to be going through all the channels forwards and backwards at the same exact time at about 150 channels per second. Now, you guys paid good money to come out on tour with me and maybe experience some of the paranormal, okay? One thing I cannot stand is when I go to hand this device to one of you to go and interact, for you guys to go, oh God, no, I was just kidding. No, let's interact, guys. I'm going to be handing this to you guys, okay? You're going to be asking questions. One of the questions I kind of have my clients refrain from asking is, how'd you die? Okay, listen, if they knew how they died, they wouldn't be ghosts.
Right.
Okay, flip side to that is a lot of them do know that they're dead, but refuse to move on. Okay, you guys, some information on how to capture ghosts on your camera. Okay, everybody take out your cell phone. Okay?
Is it okay if I video?
Listen, if you do take a picture of me,
yeah,
this is my better side.
Okay,
right
all right.
Jerome, guys, this was called the French Quarters. Jerome was founded back in 1876. Now, to my ladies, I want you girls to throw some words out there and get as risque as you dare, okay? What do you think these women were called back in the day? Throw some words out there.
Madam. I'm being risque.
You can get a little more risque.
Risque,
That's
Mom.
risque.
Come on. Throw some words out there. Starts with a W. That's the word we're going to say right there. From here on out, we're going to know these women as quilt makers. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Now, you guys see how the windows are nice and tall? See that? On both buildings? This is where all the quilt makers would line up and show their quilts. Oh my God, look at that one. Look at this one. Check out that one right there. Kind of like Amsterdam. You get my hint, right?
Yeah.
This is known as Husband's Alley. Back in the day, you used to have a false door on Main Street. Right here, it had a wooden landing that came out about 10 feet with stairs coming down. Well, back in the day, if a gentleman was in the mood for a darn good quilt, he could sneak on down here, okay? Back in the day, there was at least 53 different ethnicities here in town. Everyone knows the language of quilts, and everyone knows the language of money. But how do you express as to what you're looking for in a darn good quilt? Communication was key, right? Yeah. These women didn't have to communicate not one darn word. They were the commodity. These women had business cards. Not only did they have business cards, guys, they were illustrated business cards. Okay? Wow. I see you standing in the back over there. We'll pick on you. What's your name? Keith. Keith? Yeah. Not tonight. Not tonight. For argument's sake, tonight your name is Pancho. Okay. Let me tell you guys about Pancho here. It's been a while. And he knows what he wants. He wants that entire quilt, right? He'd walk on down, he'd walk up to one of the quilt makers, and she could see that old Pancho here don't know how to speak English. No big deal. She would hold up her handy dandy illustrated business card, and old Pancho here could see all the different types of quilts that were offered, and each quilt that was offered came with a price. That's how they did business back in the day, and that's Dave's PG version of the bordellos, guys. Let's take off. What happens tonight, but I can tell you this. From time to time, this tour can get really, really uncanny. Now I'm picking on you because of that word. You know what uncanny means? Scary. Okay, so tonight, if you see me run! This ghost in town. She was a German immigrant by the name of Betty Gottlieb. Now Betty, she got in a big altercation with her boyfriend, decided to get away from him, and she came into the theater to watch a film. Unbeknownst to her, he followed her in, and he sat behind her during the film. Well, during a loud crescendo of the film, he decided she no longer needed to live, guys, and he strangled her to death in this theater. There were witnesses to the crime. The guy ran out the door right here. Then the guy ran up those stairs, and you guys see that window in the base building way up there? That's where the guy holed up at, okay? Well, the sheriff found the body of Betty Gottlieb and did what he had to do with the body, and then the good sheriff walked up the stairs and went and knocked on the door. Here's where it gets even more absurd. In the court documents, it states the sheriff knocked on the door. But it's how the guy answered that's so absurd. The sheriff knocked. Boom, 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 boom. Guy answered the door by going, "I didn't kill her." Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, right? They went ahead and strung him up and hung him to death within 15 minutes of that, guys. Now, that apartment up there, that's my buddy Brandon's first apartment here in Jerome. He works for the other ghost company. He claims he had to move because he claims that in just that little room right there, there's so much paranormal activity, okay? Now I'm going to change pace a little bit. I'm going to get a little scientific and nerdy with you guys. Does anybody here know when peak paranormal hours are? That's 1. Okay, I'll cut to the chase. Go ahead. 3 p.m. 3 p.m. That up, boy. You've been paying attention. Listen, 3 a.m., 3 p.m. Solar cycles, lunar cycles, all of that affects the electromagnetic field of the Earth, and the electromagnetic field of the Earth has direct correlation with paranormal activity, okay? Now the next question I'm going to ask you guys is going to be personal. You don't have to answer it, but it's leading up to a statistic in just the U.S. alone, okay? By show of hands, how many people here have lost a friend or a loved one to death? Pretty much all of us, right? Now, of you guys, how many here can claim some type of strange happening due to that loved one that's moved on? Thank you for answering, guys. The statistic I was going to tell you guys about is 80% of all Americans that have ever lost a loved one can claim some type of paranormal activity due to that loved one that's moved on, including myself with my grandmother, my little brother, and my best friend who was found murdered in a park at the sweet age of 16-year-old. And including the owner of this theater, okay? The building was built back in 1918, but we're going to jump all the way to 1974. The owner of this building lost her best friend back in 1974. Now we're going to jump 10 years to 1984. So for 10 years, she laid her friend to rest and thought, that's it. I want you guys to guess what time she woke up after a very lucid dream. Yeah, I'm on the same page. And it was her best friend mentioning it by name. And the entire dream, over and over and over again, was, whatever you do, do not let those children stand out in front of the Liberty Theater tomorrow morning. That was the whole dream, over and over and over. Well, by right, she could not fall back asleep. And this is historically documented, guys. She came out at about 6 o'clock in the morning, flagged a police officer down to help her cordon off this entire area right here in front of the Liberty Theater. Her best friend told her, don't let the kids stand out in front. It just so happens that this location right here is where all the kids in town would come and wait for the bus. The bus would pull up, the kids would load up, the bus could make that big wide turn. Now the reason I had you guys stand out there is because now they're already messing with me. Flashlight's on. I want to direct your attention up. You guys see anything missing right there? What? How about that great big eagle? Guys, that eagle was that thick of concrete. Guess what happened that morning? It fell down, guys, okay? So what I'm getting at is this. Should you guys ever have a paranormal instance due to a friend or a family member, guys, accept it for who and what it is, okay? Sometimes they got little missions that they deem they have to complete in order to move on, and sometimes they're just simply giving us a heads up, guys. I'll have you guys step back on the sidewalk and we're gonna walk this way. This way. I'm gonna talk to you guys about the old English kitchen, okay? Nothing English has ever been made out of that kitchen right there, okay? It's now called Bobby D's Barbecue Shop. It's a wonderful barbecue shop. Matter of fact, the main barbecuer used to be my fishing buddy. Okay? Now I'm going to tie the little story together. They knew where they were going to set the charge off. Just so happened to be right in the middle of our little town at around 3,600 feet deep. Think about that, guys. Think about that, how deep that is, okay? And also, just to add to the pucker factor while we walk around, okay, there are over 111 miles of tunnels directly underneath us, guys. Yeah. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. The reason we have such a large ore deposit here is because we're also on a spur fault. Okay, so yes, there's seismic activity here from here.
Now he's taking us down a dark alley.
All right. So I'm gonna have you guys start right here and then stand in a nice big sea right in front of me right here. I'm gonna be showing you guys some photos, okay? I kind of gave you guys a little clue earlier. I told you that the veil between this dimension and the next is the electromagnetic field, okay? With that being said, what do you suppose that sensation would be?
A shock.
A shock, your hair standing on end, something to that nature. This first photo that I'm gonna show you guys is a prime example of that, okay? Now my buddy Jason took this. He said this guy was holding a meter right about here and the meter was going off, okay? Well, my partner was standing right about here and he took this picture. When he took this picture, this guy went, whoa! Jason goes, what happened? He goes, something just zapped me. Guys, take a look to the left of the gentleman. You guys are gonna see the apparition is looking up at the guy and touching him on the shoulder. And look at that electrical zap that I'm telling you guys about.
Oh my.
Oh, cool.
Anybody here know what an orb is? Let me tell you what I know an orb as. An orb is the metaphysical embodiment of our spirits, guys. Okay. If you capture an orb that's stationary, it's got a 3-dimensional quality to it. That's an orb. Okay, that's if you capture one that's stationary. If you capture an orb in motion, wherever that orb goes, it leaves a little contrail behind it, kind of like fairy dust, guys. Moths do not do that. Birds do not do that. Orbs do that, okay? The more photos you guys take,
that is cool.
The better your chances of capturing some type of anomaly. So as of now, I want you guys taking a ridiculous amount of photos. Now, walk right over here, right by this post over here, and I'm going to take you guys to a murder location that happened back in September of 1937, and it was an unsolved murder. But this used to be an old bordello called the Black Cat Bordello. The room where this lady was found murdered is this one off to the left right here. Okay. Now, the lady that was found murdered, I got a picture of her. Absolutely beautiful young lady. Her name was Sammy Dean. She was the one found murdered in that room.
Pretty.
Beautiful, beautiful young lady.
Wow.
Okay. However, Sammy Dean was not her real name. Her real name was Juanita Lovelace. When she came to town, guys, she came to town as a married woman. Now, her husband tried his hand in mining, and for whatever reason, couldn't be a big-time miner. Instead of finding another job and supporting his lady, guys, he left her. And he left her in a town filled with 85% men. Now to my girls, listen, back in the day, there wasn't very many lucrative ways for women to make money other than quilt making. And you guys saw how pretty she was. She's adorned in gold. Okay? She's known for seeing the mayor's son, chief of police's son, and various other dons. Okay? But she was also known for having a great big huge dude as her best friend. While her and her best friend were supposed to have an after lunch date here in town, Sammy never showed up. A few hours passed by and he decided he's going to walk down here and check on his best friend. He walked into the front doors and knocked on her apartment. No answer. However, he could hear her dog was whimpering. She had a great big huge German Shepherd. Well, he peeked along the corner of the banister and noticed the back door was open. He walked in and that's when he found her, guys. Not only was she strangled to death, but she was severely beaten as well. Now, I'll pick on you. What's your name?
Tim.
Tim, you come across your best friend that way. What are you going to do?
Probably call 911.
See, here's a man with some intelligence. Most guys are like, well, I'm going to get the war paint, the machete, and strike the nuclear codes. No, you're going to call the cops, which is what he did. When the cops showed up, guys, they could not do a full-scale investigation on her body because remember that dog? That dog would not allow anybody by her. So when the detective showed up, they picked up on that. They're like, hey, buddy, can you move that damn dog? He's like, absolutely. Guess who turned into suspect number one? Okay. Now they're pumping him for questions. They're like, so, we hear that you and Sammy are quite the thing. The best friend's like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean quite the thing? He goes, look, man, it was strictly a platonic relationship. The cops are like, you mean to tell me you didn't want nothing with this woman? And he admitted that at first, when he first met her, absolutely, she's beautiful. He goes, but then listen, I'm not into competition. Way too many Johns. And not only that, man, I wound up learning her plight, and I wound up loving her more like a little sister. You're barking up the wrong tree. So then they asked him, well, then can you tell me anything strange that's happened the last few weeks? He goes, matter of fact, just the other day, the mayor's son proposed to her. Well, why is that strange? Well, because she negated it, and he vowed vengeance. Guess who turned into suspect number two? Okay. Now, the mayor's son, they approached him a little differently. They're like, so, we know everybody she's been seeing here in town, but we want to hear it straight from your mouth. Who else she's been seeing? This guy gave up the cha-cha real quick. He goes, my dad. Wait, what? Dad and son are folding the same quilt? Same times back in the 30s, huh? Same times. But listen, guys. They could not pin this murder on anybody. Everybody had an alibi, okay? But let me tell you who left the town of Jerome the week after her murder, never to return to Jerome again, and that would be the mayor's son. However, I don't believe it was the mayor's son, guys. Okay, I'll tell you who I think it was. I think it was the husband, the original husband, okay? Let's create a scenario. First of all, they never could find him for questioning. But let's create a scenario. Let's say that he came back after leaving his wife with his tail between his legs. He came back into town and saw that Sammy Dean's doing just fine. That might be a trigger point right there. And that is the story of Sammy Dean and the Black Cat Bordello guy. Okay? Now, like I told you guys, Jerome was founded back in 1876. By 1890, we were considered the wickedest city in the West by the New York Sun. Reason being, guys, we were the murder capital of the world. It is said that from 1876 to 1953, when the mine shut down, that up to 20 people a week were murdered on the streets of Jerome. Shootings, beatings, stabbings, lynchings, you name it. It is also said that any debauchery you can think of has probably happened in this town at least twice. It's said that somewhere in here, there was a gentleman murdered by the name of Charles Emerson King. And who Charles King was, guys? He was the town sheriff. He was ambushed and murdered right here. he come across a Hispanic gentleman by the last name of Chavez. Chavez had vowed to kill the sheriff, and Chavez was actually fighting with his estranged wife in this building right here. And he got pissed off. He came out in the courtyard and started firing his gun up in the air, knowing that sheriff has to respond to shots fired. After he fired his gun, he went to the windowsill over there, waiting for the silhouette of Charles King to show up. Lo and behold, here comes the big mountain of a man. Well, when Chuck got here, guys, he came across a little 14-year-old girl whom he'd never met before. And he asks her, "Hey, sweetie, can you tell me if anyone's been firing a gun around here?" That's when Chavez, from the windowsill all the way down there, he took a bead on the sheriff and he fired. What do you think happened?
He hit the girl.
Didn't kill her, hit her in the meaty part of the thigh and she fell. Now Charles King, his essence, his being, who he was and how he left this planet, was about as unselfish as any human being could ever leave this planet, guys. He didn't care about getting shot at. What he did care about was that little girl. And his whole being was to pick up this child and run for cover. That's when this SOB took another beat on the sheriff, and this time the shot was fatal. He shot the sheriff in the back while the sheriff was carrying a little girl that he had just shot. Okay? Now remember I told you this was going to have a little quiz? When did this happen? I got you on that one. It's the very first thing I told you. It happened back in 1910. Okay? What's the name of the sheriff? Chuck or Charles King? Okay. What's the name of the bad guy? Okay. What was the sheriff responding to? Shots fired. Remember this information, because when we walk back through here, we're going to try and communicate with Charles King, guys. Obviously, I never met the guy, but I've been conducting EVP here for over 4 years. And every time I communicate with the spirit that responds to Charles King, he always seems to have a deeper voice, okay? But this story, 1910, continues on over here. This was not always a volleyball court and a basketball court. Matter of fact, this location right here, this used to be an old billiard hall, and right over here was a cantina. But the story I'm going to tell you guys about happened in 2012. Kids playing volleyball, okay? When one of the kids on the other side of the net looked right up here, between those two posts, standing right there, there was a sheriff standing right there with his arms crossed, staring at him. This cop's not interacting with him. He's just standing there, staring at him and staring at him. That's when all the kids congregated right here. Now they're looking up at the sheriff, and now the sheriff is looking down at them. And they continue to make snide remarks. He's not responding at all. Let's go figure. He goes, "Orale," grabs a rock and he throws it at the sheriff. When that rock hit the sheriff, guys, he dissipated. After a couple screams and indeed a few farts, okay, the kids took off to town hall and went and told the officer on duty, "Hey, we just saw a ghost of one of you guys." And the cop's like, "Come here." He separated all these kids. Every single kid correlated the same exact story. What I think we have to learn in this life is faith. Maybe not faith in the theological sense. If theology is what you use in order to believe that you continue on, then by all means use theology. But I'm talking faith in the fact that you, your essence, your being, your soul continues on, guys. Why do ghosts stay around? Time, my friends, is a man-made thing, okay? Time has no correlation beyond the veil of death at all. We are simplistic creatures, and we need to have some semblance of order, and time gives us that semblance of order. We're gonna walk up here, and I'm gonna turn on the PSP 11. We got a power line coming right over us, so we're gonna stay to the right of the power line so we don't get no false readings. You guys are the meters. You guys are to tell me when they turn solid orange. When they turn solid orange, that is telling you that that device and that device alone is picking up an electromagnetic anomaly, okay? Okay, so here's what it sounds like, okay? I'll start it up. We're listening for any voices. If you guys do get a voice, give it about a 5-second pause and then interact, okay? We want to get names, so I'll start it up. My name is David. We are here in Jerome, Arizona, and I'm trying to communicate with the spirit of Charles Emerson King. Charles King, can you hear me? Or anybody? We know that there's a spirit present here. I'd like to establish if you're male or female. If you're male, can you flash once for me, twice if you're female? Or can I hear your voice? I didn't see it.
It flashed like really fast.
Like really fast? Just like
Yeah.
this? That's once. It's a male then. Okay. Can we hear your voice? Can you say hello? Who are you? Listen, we don't mean no disrespect. We're trying to communicate with the spirits of the past.
Yeah.
If you're here, can you say something? Can we hear your voice? Okay, but speak clearly and eloquently.
Okay. Hi, my name is Michaela.
There's a voice.
Say hello. How old are you? Howdy.
Howdy. Did you guys hear that? Howdy.
Yeah. How old are you?
Go ahead now. Keep asking. Get it? There's a female.
Yeah. If you're the female speaking,
Oh,
how
no.
old are you? It's just
Flashlight turned off.
Yeah?
Yeah, this
It's
is
actually
everyone
funky though. I wonder why.
And now it's not turning on. Now it's fully charged.
For the young.
Why are you here?
Sweetie.
I think you ran out of charge now.
Really?
What?
It's red.
Are you a female?
Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Elijah.
It flashed twice.
Elijah?
Yeah.
You keep doing that. Half of you stay here with Elijah. Okay? Try to ask questions and see what kind of responses you guys get. I'm going to take the other half right over here. We're going to conduct a little experiment, okay? So just stay here. Half of you follow me over here.
We'll stay here with you, Eli.
It's so funny. You want to do it, but you're not.
Well, I mean, I had a real question.
Are you from Jerome, Arizona?
Mine's flashing.
One for yes, two for no. You got two.
So no?
Yeah, so no.
Okay, so one flash for yes, two for no.
Are you male or female? One flash for yes, two flashes for no.
That makes no sense. Okay, if you are a girl or female, can you flash that? Otherwise, keep it solid.
Mine keeps flashing.
So,
female.
Yeah, it was like a
One
solid
flash.
flashing.
can you talk to us through the box and tell us your name very clearly?
Let her hold it. Let her put her energy into that. Go ahead. You hold it, my dear. Stay right here. What part of this looks like bedtime? Hotel room here. They didn't give you a door number. They give you a door color. So that's probably them talking, okay? So this next part, this is you guys. You guys now know how to do EVP. You guys have acclimated your ears. So you guys go ahead and do EVP. And those of you with meters, you can put some meters on the table.
There's a table. I'm gonna get a picture of it.
You hear that little girl?
I'm leaning against a pole here. Yeah, flashlight. There. Oh, look at this thing.
All right. So we all know how to do EVP. This was an old mortuary here. You guys know what a mortuary is, right? You know what a mortuary is? When you die, they will send you here to get your body processed, embalmed and stuff like that, okay? So you guys know how to do EVP. Ask away. Dad, you're awfully quiet.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Yeah? Trying to ask you questions.
Trying to ask some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you? Did you hear that?
Yeah. I'm Andre. I'm Andre Lewis. I'm holding my baby, Octavia. I guess we're just here to ask some questions, so time to figure some questions out. What year were you born? Are you male or female? Flash once for males, flash twice for female?
Male.
Male. Okay. Male.
Kind of a dark sounding male. You didn't have to sound so scary.
Did you used to work here or was your body brought here?
Not just Andre, right?
Yeah, Andre.
Okay, not just Andre. You guys can ask any question you feel like asking that you're compelled to ask. Ask it, guys. Then we're gonna play a little game.
7. Are you a little girl?
Do you know where your parents are?
Said no, huh?
What's your... Are there... Either... What's your name?
Are we welcome?
What was that? That was a giggle.
Giggle.
Just a giggle.
It just said giggle, huh?
Just a giggle.
So they're here. You see how how they're acting? That's activity, guys. Listen, we know that you are here. Could you tell us your name?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's your name? I didn't hear that.
What room did you stay in?
Good angle, guys. Listen, were you staying in a hotel? Yes or no? What'd you say?
I heard yellow.
Pick up on
Yellow,
the
huh?
Hey, my name is William. I'm gonna flip a quarter. Can you guess it before it hits the ground? Tell me if it's heads or tails.
What you guys hear?
Heads?
I heard heads.
Think so?
Flip it.
Ready?
Oh, where'd it go? 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 There it is. That's it. Okay. Now, to be honest with you, William, that's a parlor trick. Okay? Listen, they literally had a 50-50 chance to get that right. Okay? Now remember I told you they can see us and they can hear us just like I can see and hear you guys, right? Let's try that out, okay? So I'm gonna have you stand exactly where you're at. William, you come right here. Right here where my light is. Now I want a female. Let's see, you man. Sophie, move aside, baby. Move aside, baby. Okay. You stand right here. You stand right there. Back up just a little bit. Stand catty corner from this. There you go. And I need another female right here. Okay? Now, you, and you, I want you guys to hold the handle, please. Just like this. Now, give me space to walk around the table. Now I'm going to talk to them. Now, I got a quarter here. I want to prove to these people that you can see and hear us, okay? I want you to follow this quarter. I'm going to be handing this quarter to one of them, okay? Now, to my humans, when I touch your hand, I want you to shut your hand, okay? There you go. Shut your hand. Shut your hand. Shut your hand. Shut your hand. All right. Now, one of these folks have it, okay? right off the bat, can you tell me, is it male or female? Can you say that? What'd you hear? Male? Okay, you girls, keep back. Can you tell me, I want you to verbally tell me, to my left or to my right?
I heard that.
Yeah, I heard left.
You heard left?
He said it real fast.
Open your hand.
Oh my
Oh, that's not a parlor trick, my friends, okay? Listen, we're done with the paranormal part. What do you guys think? Was that cool?
Now,
That was pretty cool.